Determine the equation of the circle in standard form. Recall the standard form of the equation of a circle is the square of x minus h plus the square of y minus k equals r squared, where the center is the point h comma k and r is the radius. Analyzing the graph of the circle on the left, notice the center is the point 2 comma negative 3. This indicates that h equals 2 and k equals negative 3. And now to determine the radius, we need to determine the distance from the center to a point on the circle. It's important that we use a point that is actually on the circle, and therefore we'll use one of the two given points. The radius is the distance from the point 2 comma negative 3 to the point 8 comma 3 on the circle, this distance here. Also notice, if we weren't able to determine the center of the circle by analyzing the graph, because the diameter of the circle would have endpoints negative 4 comma negative 9 and 8 comma 3, we could find the center using the midpoint formula shown here on the right. To determine the radius, we'll use the distance formula. To keep things organized, let's let x1 comma y1 be the point 2 comma negative 3 and x2 comma y2 be the point 8 comma 3. And again, the distance d is really the radius r, this distance here, which gives us the radius r is equal to the square root of the square of x2 minus x1 is the square of 8 minus 2. And then we have plus the square of y2 minus y1, which is the square of 3 minus negative 3. And now we simplify. We have r equals the square root of the square of 8 minus 2 is the square of 6 plus the square of 3 minus negative 3 simplifies to the square of 3 plus 3, or again the square of 6. The square of 6 equals 36. R equals the square root of the sum of 36 and 36, which equals the square root of 72. Now if we're only looking for the equation of the circle, we can stop here and just square r to determine r squared. Recall the equation only calls for r squared. But if we are asked to state the radius, we should simplify the square root of 72. To simplify the square root of 72, we look for the perfect square factors of 72. 72 is equal to 36 times 2, where 36 is a perfect square. We know r equals the square root of the product of 36 and 2. And because the square root of 36 equals 6, the simplified form of the radius is 6 square root 2. But again, to find r squared, we can simply square the square root of 72. The squaring undoes the square root, and we have r squared equals 72. And now we have all the information we need to write the equation of the circle in standard form. The square of x minus h, in our case, is the square of x minus 2. And then we have plus the square of y minus k is the square of y minus negative 3 equals r squared, which is 72. Let's go ahead and simplify. Y minus negative 3 simplifies to y plus 3. The final form of the equation is the square of x minus 2 plus the square of y plus 3 equals 72. I hope you found this helpful.